This truck driver used crutches at his hearing and deposition, saying his knee was injured so badly he generally used the crutches all the time. But when arriving at the airport to fly to the hearing, the crutches seemed more like luggage that needed carrying. He also said he was never able to play sports with his kids. In addition, he was observed many times walking, riding a motorcycle, and going on several errands, never once using his crutches. This carpenter claimed in his deposition that he had severe back pain, hadn't worked at all since his injury, and couldn't stand more than 20 minutes without using a cane. But just 3 days prior to his deposition, here he was, working on this roof for over an hour, somehow managing without his cane. After an alleged lower back injury that put him on total temporary disability, this security guard arrived for his deposition moving gingerly and using a cane, claiming he was in a lot of pain and had a hard time moving around. Yet in the minutes and hours following his deposition, seemingly had no trouble at all demonstrating a complete range of pain-free motion. This dock worker claimed he was injured at his trucking company job and couldn't work because bending his back caused considerable pain. He said he mainly sat around his house all day. Then a co-worker saw him on the news as part of this story on boating safety. The day before, and 5 days after swearing he didn't take part in boating activities, he was videotaped jet skiing.
Employee or applicant fraud occurs when an employee knowingly and intentionally lies to obtain a benefit that they would not otherwise be entitled to. Misrepresentations regarding the claim can surround the how, when, where the injury occurred. For example, the employee may have reported to the insurance carrier that the injury happened during their regular course of duties. However, come to find out, the injury actually happened on their day off while at home or engaged in a recreational activity. The employee may also lie in regards to the extent or duration of the injury. Oftentimes this is done to prolong the amount of time they are off work or the disability benefits coming to them. Employees may also lie as to the existence of prior injuries, which may be material in determining future benefits during the course of their claim. Or they may lie in regards to additional income that they are receiving during the time that they are receiving benefits, therefore not allowing the insurance company to make an accurate assessment on benefits owed based on total income received, as well as potential activities that they might be engaged in during other employment.
Penalties for applicant fraud can be up to 5 years in state prison and fines of up to $150,000 or double the fraud, whichever is greater. Additionally, the court can order that the individual pay restitution for the amount of the actual fraud for benefits unrightfully obtained, and also investigative costs. The investigative costs oftentimes can be 4 or 5 times the amount of the actual fraud.
The consequences for the truck driver who said he used crutches all the time were 6 months in jail, 5 years probation, and paying restitution of $42,000. The carpenter who said he wasn't able to work at all was sentenced to time served in jail, 5 years probation, and over $10,000 in restitution. The security guard who said he needed a cane to walk received a sentence of 5 years probation, 600 hours of community service, and restitution of almost $54,000. The dock worker with the bad back who loved jet skiing was sentenced to 90 days in jail and restitution of almost $23,000.
As you can see by these examples, fraudulent employees can come in all shapes and sizes. There are, however, some red flags that can indicate possible applicant fraud. The first category includes circumstances regarding employees. They are disgruntled, soon to retire, or facing imminent firing or layoff. They are involved in seasonal work that is about to end. They are nomadic and have a history of short-term employment. They are new on the job. They have a history of reporting subjective injuries. They protest about returning to work and never seem to improve. The first notification of injury or claim is made after the employee is terminated or laid off. A tip indicates that the totally disabled worker is currently employed elsewhere. Or, after injury, the employee is never home or the spouse or relative answering the phone states the employee just stepped out. The second category includes circumstances regarding the accident or the injury. The accident occurs late Friday afternoon or shortly after the employee reports to work on Monday. The accident is not witnessed, or witnesses' versions of the accident conflict with the applicant's version or with one another's. Fellow workers hear rumors circulating that the accident was not legitimate. The accident occurs just prior to a disciplinary action or near the end of a probationary period. Details of the accident are vague or contradictory, have inconsistencies, or are not credible. Or the incident is not promptly reported by the employee to their supervisor. Keep in mind that these are not conclusive indicators of fraudulent behavior. Just some things to keep an eye out for.
If you have information about or think you might be the victim of applicant fraud, we strongly urge you to contact your local district attorney or the California Department of Insurance.